What is up, everybody? This is Eddie McDonald of the Petty Eddie Podcast. No show this week. Instead of coming to you with this YouTube exclusive here for Network 216. A lot of things happening. A lot of cool things happening. The NFL is back. Luckily, the Bills just beat down the Rams. We'll get into that a little bit. My thoughts on that and a parlay I cash. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so there's a big wrestling weekend this past weekend, and we have a lot to talk about from that, and not even from the events themselves that were great. But before we get into that, make sure you go to homage.com and get yourself some Browns gear or NFL gear, whatever you want, MLB, NFL, college football, NHL, NBA, WWE, pop culture. Go tune in with them. They're a proud sponsor. We're a proud sponsor with them. This sweet Myles Garrett, Nick Chubb NFL Jam shirt. They just came out with some Blitz ones today. Make sure to go check them out. The bet, I'm not even saying this is no cap, as the kids say. Softest shirt I've ever had in my life, the most comfortable shirt I've ever had in my life, and that's saying something. Definitely worth the price. Check out our links all over the Network 216 Twitter. It's network_216. Yeah, so make sure you go rock with them. I highly recommend it, and I'm definitely getting more shirts probably next time I get paid. So moving on, we'll touch on the Super Bowl champions going down in week 1 to the maybe Super Bowl champions this year. We'll see what happens with that. As you see, my cat. Yep, hello, kitten cat. She always has to come in, of course. But yeah, the Bills look sharp tonight. That defense looked on point. The Rams look flustered at all times, or not all times, but most of the time tonight. Josh Allen is that guy. He is him. Shout out to him. I have him on a fantasy league. Of course, it's the one I don't have money on. In that one, I also have Gabriel Davis, who I kept in the 16th round of a 3-keeper, 2-quarterback league. He went off. I had Cooper Kupp in a league. Shout out Zach. Hey, Zach. That's nice, huh? 30-something from my wide receiver. Thanks, buddy. We'll see you soon. That's part of the Network 216 Fantasy. Zach DeFranco, you know him from the Faithful Dogs podcast, and he's on the Fantasy 216 show, and he's on a bunch of other stuff here. He helps run this stuff. Shout out to him, but I'm whooping his ass this week when it comes to fantasy football. And, I talked earlier, I got a parlay. I hit one, the first one of the year. $5 turned into $74 for me. And on that, I had Cooper Kupp as an anytime touchdown scorer, Gabriel Davis, anytime touchdown scorer, Matthew Stafford, all yards over 225. He had 240. Josh Allen, all yards 250 over 250. He had 297. And Bills to cover the 2.5 spread, they won by 21. So that's a good win right there. Shout out to them. Shout out FanDuel for that. That's sweet. First one of the year. Good momentum going into this season. For those that don't know, I put a $1 parlay on every single game on Sunday, from the 1 o'clock games all the way to the 8 o'clock games. Just, hey, why not? Sometimes I'll pick just straight up. Sometimes I'll pick with the spread. Just depends on what I like, or the over-under. But I put $1 on that. I hope to turn it big. So stay tuned. Hopefully that happens this year, and I can come back on here and just be like, hey, look what I did. Or on my show, the Petty Eddie Podcast, Thursdays, 6 p.m., Network 216 Twitch channel. Speaking of Twitch, it is September for Twitch. That's 30% off the subscriptions. So go check us out there. Subscribe. Watch us. We have shows almost every night of the week, Monday through Thursday for sure. Fridays sometimes. On weekends we have some exclusives. We do giveaways. We do a bunch of cool stuff. So go check us out there. 30% off. If you have Amazon Prime, you get Twitch for free. You just have to renew it at the beginning of every month. It does not auto-renew. But if you have Prime, take advantage of that. Check us out. Let's help grow this brand. Let's help grow this into something amazing. We have a great team. We're doing amazing things. So now that we talked about the Bills dominating Week 1 win over the defending champion Rams, now we're going to turn our attention to pro wrestling, because there was, like I said, a big weekend I talked about last week on my Petty Eddie podcast with Mikey P. Shout out him, Network 216 guy. It was a big weekend. There was 3 big cards. There was Clash at the Castle WWE Saturday afternoon, I should say. Worlds Collide on Sunday afternoon for NXT and NXT UK, the mashup there to launch somewhat of a rebrand. And also there was AEW All Out, and all three amazing cards. All three had great wrestling. I missed the first half of All Out. Gotta go back and check some of that out. What I saw wasn't bad. I didn't mind. The main event was not bad. It started off, and then it picked up a little bit, and they had the MJF return. And it was huge, but sadly, that was overshadowed because after, if you did not hear about this and you're a wrestling fan, I don't know how you didn't. Maybe you're living under a rock. I don't know. But most of you that are going to watch this do know that what happened, and that is CM Punk, after beating Jon Moxley in the main event to recapture the title he just lost 10 days prior and some weird ass shit on Dynamite. He won the title from Moxley at All Out. MJF comes out to confront him. There's your next feud. Bang. Awesome. Well, not awesome, because afterwards, CM Punk, after just winning this, went scorched earth on Colt Cabana, Hangman Adam Page, the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, unprovoked. He holds grudges, and this is exactly who he is. Afterwards, there was some fisticuffs flying. The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega allegedly went to CM Punk's locker room. Punk somehow said he was fearful for his life and thought fists would be thrown, so he threw the first one. I forget which Young Buck it is. I think it was Nick Jackson. Punk's coach Ace Steel was there. He threw a chair and hit, I think it was Nick Jackson. He also bit Kenny Omega and pulled his hair. That's crazy, right? Only pro wrestling. Only in the pro wrestling world do we have this, and it's crazy because how does that happen in these scrums? They call it a scrum. As you see the different backgrounds here, they call it a scrum. It's not a scrum; it's a press conference. Just call it what it is, a press conference. Punk was bitching about Adam Hangman Page going to business for himself on a promo like 3 months ago, building up to their match that Punk eventually beat him to, or within it, pissed Punk off to the point where he almost quit the company, won the title from Page, and then got injured. Was on the shelf for I don't even know how long, a while. And they did the tournament with Jon Moxley winning the interim championship, and he still held on to that. And then before he even got to Hangman Page, he unprovoked, Nick Houseman was sitting there, and he asked about Colt Cabana at the last AEW New Japan show, and that pissed Punk off. He started this. He went in this huge diatribe about how Colt Cabana called him by his real name. Was all this piece of crap, and he paid all his bills, and the fucked up part was he said he had shared a bank account with his mother. Who gives a shit? But this is who CM Punk is. Then he went on to say Adam Hangman Page hasn't done shit in this business. That's not true. He was part of the main core of this roster of AEW. They are the number 2 promotion in the entire world. Whether you like it or you don't like it, that's just the facts. They're number 2. But yeah. He said he hasn't done anything. He said that, the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, who are EVPs of the All Elite Wrestling, they couldn't manage a target, he said. He said they walk on their dick when something, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, that's who he is. They always say that Punk doesn't want change because AEW is the perfect change that Punk even laid out in his, famous pipe bomb promo years ago on Raw. This is the change he wanted to see. And when he first came in, excuse me, it was all, hey, I want to, elevate this young talent. I want them to, do great. I'm just happy to be here, blah, blah, blah. And now the true CM Punk is coming out. When he is not on top, everything sucks. When he is on top, he still finds things to bitch about and acts as if he is better than everyone. He lives that best in the world moniker too much, I think. But this whole situation is bizarre. And then on Dynamite, so everyone involved was suspended. The Young Bucks, Kenny Omega, Ace Steel, CM Punk, those two might get fired. Who knows? We don't know. Punk injured, I think, his tricep in the match with Moxley, so he's going to be gone 6 to 8 months. And yeah, that's fitting for Punk, I guess, because when he won the title originally, he did a stage dive into the crowd the next Wednesday on Dynamite and broke his foot. That's what he was out for the summer. So not good for him. The summer of Punk did not turn into anything but that. Injuries are piling up, and now he might be fired. I don't think they can fire him while he's injured, but he won't be on TV for a while. And if he comes back after that, we'll see. Someone's going to eat a big pile of shit and say, "Hey, my bad." More than that, obviously. It's going to have to be him. A lot of people in the locker room are said not to like him. We will see. Yeah, so it's crazy. The pro wrestling world is already crazy. This just amplified that. This is probably, we're not even the whole way through the year. We're, a little over 8 months into this year, and this is probably the craziest year of pro wrestling ever. Vince McMahon stepped down like 48 days ago, and then all this stuff happened, this past Sunday. On Dynamite, there was no mention of the Bucks, Omega, Punk, none of that. Just the titles were all vacated, and there was going to be an interim or a title or a world title tournament, another tournament in AEW. That's a little bogus, but hey, that's what they have to do. Yeah, so they announced that with Dan O'Brien being Hangman Page. I think he goes on to face Jericho, maybe. Then Moxley is in it, and I don't remember who else is in it right now. But they did that, and that Triangle won the trios titles as they were stripped after they were just inaugurally crowned on Sunday night. It's very bizarre they didn't, mention anything like that. If you watched All Out, you're tuning in and to find out what's the aftermath of that. What's Tony Khan going to do? And he had a video announcing that, met with some boos. Then when he said there's going to be title matches and tournaments, met with a little bit of cheers. So that's something. Clash at the Castle was awesome. Walter and Sheamus might have had my favorite match of the entire year. Gunther retaining. They beat the hell out of each other, and it was awesome. Roman Reigns retained his title with the help of his other cousin, the Usos' younger brother, Solo Sikoa. So that's going to be cool to see how that plays out on SmackDown. What's that do for Sami Zayn? Him and Kevin Owens going to get the tag title soon, maybe. I think so. I think that's what's going to happen. We're going to wrap up with Browns talk. Big game and big opening game this Sunday down in Carolina against the Panthers. 1 p.m. kickoff. Could be raining. Wrote about that for Dog Pound Daily. Make sure you check us out there, dogpounddaily.com. Jacob Roach, also 216, Network 216. He is on there with me writing. He does an incredible job. Go check us out. But I did write about how the weather could be a factor and how both teams could utilize the ground game, and that could be trouble for the opposing defenses. We'll see. The Browns have 5 backs at their disposal. One will be the kick returner, Dimitri Felton. He'll be the returning kicks and punts. He'll also probably line up in the slot a little bit. And you have Chubb, Hunt, Dearness Johnson, Jerome Ford. You can get a healthy dosage of all of those players or just a couple of those players, and you can mix and match them on 2 running back sets. So that should be fun. We'll see how Jacoby Brissett does. It's the first of 11 with 7. So that's what we're going to ride with. We're going to ride with 7 for 11. If the Browns can, not turn the ball over, I do think they come out with a win this weekend. I think that it's a relatively low-scoring game, 24-20, 24-17, somewhere in that range. I think the Browns win. The ground game could be huge. The defense, I'm excited to see them. Baker Mayfield, opposing quarterback, last year was the starter for Cleveland. The past 4 years was the starter for Cleveland, and not anymore. He's the starter in Carolina. We all know about that. That chip on his shoulder is huge. That shirt is out, off the leash now because he was such on a leash because he had, whatever. Myles Garrett, didn't return his text with it, which if you think that's bad, then, shut up. It's over. The Baker Mayfield experience in Cleveland is over. It's never happening again. It was what it was, 1 winning season in 4 years. So he's on to, bigger and better things. After Sunday, I wish him nothing but the best. Sunday, I hope Myles Garrett breaks his own record of sacks in a game and then breaks the franchise record in the same time. Him and Clowney, I think, are going to have a field day. The secondary is good enough and knows Baker's tendencies that they should also have a field day. So this should be, pretty good win for the Browns. I think it is going to be winning time. I think Victory Monday, we're going to have, this week, Victory Monday. Be sure to get your Victory Monday t-shirts at homage.com. Get the Browns. Check that out. And then, so homage.com. Use our links on network_216 on Twitter. Comfiest shirts ever. Browns 24. I'll say Panthers 17. I'll say Brissett has 220-ish yards for a touchdown, maybe a pick. And I will say Baker will throw for 230, 2 touchdowns, and 2 picks. Hopefully Myles gets that sack record. Before we wrap up, Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you go check them out. Another proud sponsor with us. We're proud to be partnered with them. All sorts of different games on their Best Ball Mania started tonight. I do not think you can get in that, but you can do daily fantasy, and the best part about it is that you can draft. The draft is the best part of fantasy to me. It's the most intriguing. I did, I think, 5 this year. And so Underdog Fantasy used using that the network's code 216. It's 216, and then use that. They'll match your first deposit up to $100. That's free money. $100 free if you can afford that and want to do that. No matter what you put in there, they will double it up to $100. Underdog Fantasy 216 is your code. Check that out. And now about wrap it up here. Petty Eddie podcast every Thursday night, 6 p.m. on Twitch. And if there is not a Petty Eddie podcast, then there will be a video just like this. There might be more even with the podcast out. There might be more to talk about. So we'll see. See what tomorrow brings for video-wise. We'll see. But this one is just because there was no episode this week. Back next Thursday. Bigger, stronger than ever. Network 216 on Twitter. Network _216. Go follow us. There's a plethora of talented people. We're building something big. And, I'm excited for it. So until next week, go Browns.